shortly be arriving at Battle.
Good morning, my lovelies, and welcome to a vlog. It's the first week of July and I've got quite a lot of interesting things going on, and I just thought I would share them with you. I'm here in Battle, and just behind me, this beautiful building with this beautiful garden is called the Pilgrim's Rest. And when I used to do weddings, we used to do lots of events here. I've had a few brides get married here, and it's very, very beautiful inside. It's full of witches' marks and ghosts, and I'm standing just opposite the Abbey, Battle Abbey. So I'm here today really for a bit of a jolly and to have a look at the charity shops, do a bit of thrifting. So let's go and see what I find. I wasn't able to film in the charity shops because they were so heaving with fellow treasure hunters, but I did stumble upon this really beautiful treasure of a shop along Battle High Street. The whole shop is filled with the most beautiful treasures, all sustainably and ethically made here in the UK. As you know, sustainable living is really one of my priorities, so I was thrilled to find this shop, and the very lovely owner, who's so carefully chosen everything in here, was an absolute delight. I really loved that there was something for every area of your life, from making your home smell lovely and look lovely to making yourself smell lovely, which is important, you know. There were lots of lovely things for the garden and for the dining room. Actually, the perfect place to buy a gift for somebody that you care about, because really there was something for everyone. As you know, on the whole, I would make something for a loved one, but this shop would be the place that I would head to. I haven't been paid to say this, I just genuinely loved it. And look at these wonderful Fair Isle jumpers. I absolutely loved all of this knitwear. I would just love to be able to knit a Fair Isle like this. It really did give me so many ideas for the things that I'd love to knit for the colder seasons of the year. But to be honest, if I was to knit some kind of Fair Isle like this, I'd be talking to you about it for about a gazillion years. I really do wish YouTube had smell-o-vision, because this shop really did smell absolutely heavenly. I can't wait to go back to Battle and revisit this shop, especially coming up for gifting season, because I'm sure there will be many delights on offer. If you're ever in Battle, do head there, it's really worth the visit. So I'm back home with a cup of tea. I'm drinking this really lovely sort of a version of an Earl Grey. It's from the Proper Tea Company. It's very, very floral, very perfumey, but very, very lovely. I thought I'd show you what I got and a couple of other things that I have found of late. So one of the things that I found and I got is this, I don't know if it's that way up, maybe it's that way up, vintage tapestry, roses on black. It's lined, it's old. I need to do a couple of little rings and I'm going to put it on the wall in my dining room. You may notice that it's looking a little bit different. I'm in the process of doing some decorating and I will share that with you at some point. So that was £2, and then I bought, doesn't seem that exciting, but some canvases, 4 of them just for £2. And I've got this idea of painting portraits of my cats. So Loki, Missy Finkelstein, Ghost, and then I had 2 really beautiful ginger cats many years ago. So that's 5 cats and there's only 4 canvases, but that's a project that I want to do. I had a great day for books today. So one of the books that I found was The Lady and the Unicorn by Tracey Chevalier, and this was actually on my book list, and I've got some points for Waterstones, and I nearly bought this full price, but I got it for £1. Charity shops are so good for books. And then I found Susan Hill, The Man in the Picture, a ghost story, every bit as clever and terrible as The Woman in Black. I Went to Sleep with the Light On, Jeanette Winterson. So this one, I can't actually read it very well. It says, when the former student of an old Cambridge don visits him in his college rooms, the long-held mystery of an ancient Venetian painting is exposed. Sat around the fire, drinking whiskey, huddling from the chill of the winter night, the don reveals the picture's hidden secrets, its malevolent power, inescapable force, and the consequences for those who become entrapped. So that was just 50p, so I'm going to put that aside for the colder months. And then I bought, and I couldn't remember if I already had this book actually, the Reader's Digest Complete Guide to Sewing. It's such a good reference book. If you can get hold of this one, it's brilliant. If I have got it already, I'm just going to give it to my kiddo because I think they will find it very useful. More books. It's a very book heavy thrift haul. This one I picked up because I just thought that the end papers were so pretty. I actually couldn't really see what was on the spine, but it's actually Paul Gallico, Flowers for Mrs. Harris. So in the UK, Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris was retitled Flowers for Mrs. Harris, and really, really beautiful. This was just £2, and I love in the front of this, it says, the House of Dior is indubitably the House of Dior, but all of the characters located on both sides of the channel in this work of fiction are as indubitably fictitious and non-existent and resemble no living person or persons. So I thought that was really lovely. And then I also got this, Carter Beats the Devil. This was just £2, and this is another book that was on my to read, and it says, this fictional account of the career of Charles Carter, a famous American magician of the 1920s, takes the bare bones of his story and turns them into something as marvellous as the levitation and spirit tricks that once baffled his audience. A quirky life story that transmutes into a John Buchan thriller. Engaging, comical, and yes, magical. This is a surefire contender for the debut novel of the year. So sounds very entertaining, and there's quite a lot of illustrations. Love the cover artwork of this one. Deviating slightly from my thrift haul and shopping haul from today in Battle and on the way home in Hastings, I just wanted to share another book with you called Sunken Lands, and this is written by a very dear friend of mine, Gareth Gareth E. Rees, as he appears on his book. He very kindly gifted this to me. I've known him for quite a few years, and I actually made his wife's wedding dress, and I made a vampire's wife style dress to wear to their wedding. I'll try to remember to link that. And basically this book is a journey through flooded kingdoms and lost worlds, and it says travel through drowned forests, vanished villages and sinking cities, the lost lands of our past, present and future. So it's a journey through time and through geography to various places that have disappeared underwater. And bless him, so funny, he signed it for me, but he wrote in there, if you can see, to Tara, my muse. And Gareth, I'm not his muse, it was a little bit of a joke, and there he is there, looking very clever and dapper. So I'm looking forward to reading that one, and it was really lovely of him to gift that to me. I'll put everything I can in the show notes, should you wish to go and see more. And then I bought from a sort of a health food shop here in the UK, Grape Tree, a whole big bag of lavender, because I have a notion to make lavender shortbread. So that's something, and I also need to make some like lavender clothes, anti-moth things. I'm sure they're called something else, just lavender bags would probably be the best way of saying it. Anyway, I bought that. And then I also bought dried chamomile flowers, because I'm finding it quite hard to get off to sleep at the moment, and I thought some lovely freshly made chamomile flowers, and I can pretend to be making spells when I brew them. And then from the lovely shop that I went into, British Design, British Made, and I will have put up some lovely footage for you, a lovely shop in Battle. I bought some cards. So one of them I can't show you because it's for somebody who potentially might be watching, but I bought this card, The Orchidologist by Lizzie Riches. She's one of my favourite artists at the moment, actually, and I love orchids, and I love this whole card. So as I'm doing up my dining room, I'm framing pictures, I'm putting my gallery wall back up together. So I'm going to frame this and put it on the wall. And I have, just getting distracted, I found this in a charity shop a long time ago, sort of 20s, 30s planter, and what I wanted to do was buy little orchids and put them in there. So I thought that, yeah, the orchids in there would be very lovely. I haven't done that yet. I've still got quite a lot of painting to do, to be honest. And then there was this beautiful painting by Dame Elizabeth Blackadder, brilliant name, of an Abyssinian cat. I'd not heard of her before, but I'm on a bit of a journey with artists, particularly female artists, although I do take umbrage slightly that an artist should be defined as female or male. I think it's just artist. You're an artist, whatever gender you kind of show up as, consider yourself to be. But I just thought that was very beautiful, and I have quite a few cat pictures framed. Framing cards and postcards is such a good way of creating art for your house without having to spend a huge amount of money. So that is everything that I got today. I'm going to enjoy my cup of tea, have a little peruse of my books, and then two jobs that I've got to do. I've got to go and film my Patreon tutorial, the start of it. I'm actually doing it in little bits, but we are pattern cutting the Vampire's Wife Kate dress, so really looking forward to that. And I've found some lovely fabric that I might make it in, still thinking about that. So I've got to go and do that, and I've got to dye my hair this evening, and then I've got a food delivery coming, so lots of stuff to get on with this evening. Good morning, my lovelies. It's a few days later. I actually have had a little bit of a flare up of my autoimmune, so I've been slightly under the weather for the last few days, but I'm okay, and I am back today. I wanted to show you what I'm currently sewing. I've got a few really lovely projects on the go. A couple of them are slightly off-piste to my actual sewing plans that I did. I am endeavouring to stick to that as much as possible. the weather here is absolutely bonkers. I can just see all these pigeons sort of nestling, trying to protect themselves from the gale force winds, and the sun keeps coming out, and then there are rain clouds, and it's just another day by the sea here in England. So I am working on 2 dresses and a top. Nearly finished a couple of the dresses. The first one is this really beautiful silk. Now you may remember a few years ago I did some birthday dresses, or I was trying to sew some outfits for my birthday, and everything that I was sewing went wrong, and I put these away in bags, and I got this out because I suddenly thought I knew what I wanted to do with this. And sometimes when something goes wrong, if you can extract your tried and true piece from it, and a wardrobe staple that you know you love, well, I have done that with this dress. So it's going to be the Lana dress. So the Lana dress sort of gathers over the bust, so you've got this like bit like so, and a poofy sleeve, and then the skirt. So it's a lovely 30s 40s very traditional style tea dress. So I'm working on that. It's silk, really beautiful. If we ever do actually get like an actual summer here, I don't know what to expect. Even me, crypt loving, crypt dwelling me, is missing the blue skies and the sunshine, so that really says quite a lot. Then I very nearly finished this little sun top. This is based off of a 1940s design. I will pop the pattern that I used, although I have to say it's so heavily tweaked that it does not look like the original pattern, but I do really like the pattern. Out of a lovely yellow Betsy from Liberty London, of course, and all I've got to do actually is elasticate the sleeves, but I don't actually have any elastic, so I am about to pop out to Jacobs and I shall take you with me. So that's that one. Very excited about that, and I think that will look really nice with the shepherd skirt. And then using the top of that pattern, I decided to make this dirndl dress, and I did sort of talk about this in the sewing plans video. One of the things that I think is really interesting is that when you see certain trends, like modern versions of things, and they appeal to you, you can kind of work out a way of making them in a way that works for you. So I would generally choose a sort of vintage slant, and I thought, I know what I'll do. I'm gonna make like a dirndl dress. I have made the top, and I've put this broderie anglaise, gathered broderie anglaise trim mouthful on there. Same buttons. I bought these little shell buttons from Jacobs, and I've got to actually sew the gathered skirt on this. It's not going to be a massive gather because the fabric was so narrow, and I've had to use the fabric and the amounts, and that's had to determine how I actually make this. But I'm looking forward to getting this done. So I need elastic for this as well. So I'm off out while the sun is shining to go and get some supplies, and then I shall be working on these in the studio a little bit later. I thought I'd show you my outfit of the day. I'm feeling quite good in this one today. So I am wearing a black linen Greta dress. So this is one of my zero waste sustainable patterns. It's really like a pattern cutting sewing guide, and you basically cut out rectangles, and it makes this, and absolutely love this. It's got like a few layers, so it gives a very nice silhouette. It's not sort of this, it does that, which is very flattering. I've got a neckerchief, cotton neckerchief. It's Liberty Tana Lawn. I think the print is called Ianthe, and it is of course Liberty London. I did a video on this way back when I first started YouTube. I will link it. A little bit embarrassing now, really. Come a long way since then. I've got this belt on from Marks and Spankers, leather with a gold buckle. I really like this sort of detail, and I don't have a very defined waist. I've sort of got like my ribs kind of hit very close to the top of my pelvic bone, so I've got this very short waist, which is why lots of my waistbands and things roll over because I just don't have this here. But I like this. This works really well. It's very good quality. And I did try these sort of, I liked all these like harnessy things, but honestly, do not work for me. I've got, how to show you elegantly, let's go. I've got little plimsolls on. Used to get bullied at school for wearing things like this, but I cannot. Love them, very comfy. And then I've got my Gucci ring that my form group bought me way back when I was a secondary school teacher, and I've just dug out this rose gold signet ring, which was my father's, and some snakes. So that is my outfit of the day. Really love this colour lipstick, but I am realising that it's really bleeding and smudging. It's not sort of working for my bouche anymore, which is unfortunate. But anyway, my outfit, delivery vans, it's all going on. It's Thursday evening and I've put quite a lot of makeup on actually, because I'm off to a book launch, which hopefully I will be able to share some footage of, and hopefully I'll get to meet the author. It's a woman called Catherine Kemp, who's written a book called The Poisoner's Tale, which looks amazing. So hopefully it's going to be a really interesting evening and learn a little bit about the book, and hopefully I can buy a copy, and hopefully Catherine Kemp can sign it for me. So I'm going to take you along with me and hopefully be able to, how many times can I say hopefully? But I thought before I do tootle off to that, I would just show you my outfit, because I'm actually wearing exactly the same thing that I was wearing at the beginning of this video. And so I will just show you that. So here we are in the mirror. This is the Bella Tea dress and I'm wearing it. Actually, this wasn't the outfit that I intended to be wearing, but I'm feeling so rubbish and so bloated and so that I think on those occasions it's best to put your trusted wardrobe heroes on, things that you feel really good in, which I do. And I've got these leather shoes, sort of monochrome two-tone shoes that were from Vinted, and they're by Clarks. I'm all ready to go off and be literary, so we shall have a lovely evening. And here's a ghost watching all the passers-by, just in case. Hey, hi, say hello. He's very busy looking at gulls, and pigeons is his favourite thing to do.
Yeah, but it's more the evening wearing, it's day.
So I'm going to get my hair.
Yeah, it depends how. Not really.
Don't worry.
That's right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Thank you so much. I hope it storms everything. I'm like totally, it's so nice to meet you. It's Friday morning and I'm going to sign off in a minute from this vlog, but I just wanted to show you my copy of The Poisonous Tale. So I got it signed by Catherine, and it just looks like the most incredible book. Actually, I just wanted to read you the blurb. I did pay for this book. I bought the book because I really want to support Catherine. She's an amazing woman, and hopefully I'll be able to have a chat with her again at some point, because lots of really interesting things to talk about. And this is, it says on the front, "Murderer or Saviour, you decide, a poisonous tale. Rome, 1656. In the shadowy back streets of the Eternal City lies an apothecary, a place for women to take their heartbreaks and troubles, herbs for childbirth, tarot readings to tell their fortunes, an undetectable poison that can kill in 4 drops. Alongside her circle of female poisoners, Julia Tafana dispenses her deadly potion to free the downtrodden women of the city from their abusive husbands. But even in a time of plague, it does not go unnoticed when the men of Rome begin to fall like flies. With the newly elected Pope hell-bent on ridding the city of heretics and witches, and the Holy Office of the Inquisition on her trail, Julia is in more danger than ever. How far will she go for the women who need her help?" I mean, it just sounds absolutely wonderful. And Catherine very kindly signed it for me. "Tara, stay fierce, Catherine," with a heart. How wonderful. I am basically going to read this weekend. I've got to work, edit, do things on my Saturday. I don't really like to work on my Saturdays, but on this instance I'm going to. And my treat on Sunday is to just sit down and devour this book, because I feel like it's one of those books that once you start reading, you're just not going to be able to put it down. And it was so fascinating to hear Catherine talk about the sort of the context of this book. What a brilliant thing to do. I'd never been to a book launch before, so it was really, really wonderful. And this is just right up my alley. So building work has started, drilling, of course, as soon as you press play on the camera, that happens. I've got to go and edit my Tea with Tara talks that I'm putting up on my Patreon this month, and I'm really, really excited about this month's one. It's about 2 surrealist artists that I really, really have fallen in love with, so looking forward to doing that and popping up all the visual notes. I hope that you've enjoyed this week. A few things that I wanted to do I didn't end up doing because of well, the weather for one thing, and also just because I'm having a little bit of a flare-up of my autoimmune at the moment, so some things have just been a little bit beyond my capacity at the moment, but feeling much, much better today. So I hope that you have enjoyed this. Do let me know about any of the books that I've mentioned. It's very book heavy, and hopefully I will have those finished makes, things that I'm working on at the moment, to show you very, very soon. I really do appreciate you taking the time to spend the time with me here in my little cottage by the sea and environs in this particular episode, and I really hope that you've enjoyed it. I look forward to hearing your thoughts as always. I hope that wherever you are, my lovelies, you are keeping very safe and very well. Any book recommendations, please pop them in the comments below, because I am on a reading high. Till next time, bye.